Alright, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions, and you know the deal. I want to say thanks to everybody that watches the channel for all the crazy, great, and wonderful comments. And if you like this channel, recommend it to a few friends. And also, if you're watching for the first time, subscribe, sucker. Go ahead. It won't cost you a thing. This morning I got up and I realized I haven't shaved in a few days, and got up early this morning. I was heading out and I had like deja vu. I was like, man, I feel like I'm back in the business. This is how, I'm telling you, actually I've cleaned up quite a bit for videos and stuff. I used to look like a freaking caveman. Have like the Grizzly Adams beard and just be looking kind of rough. And I was more cut back then from lifting all that stuff. But got me to thinking this morning. One of the most important aspects of building your storage auction business is building your tribes. You have to build two tribes. There's your intake tribe, where you get your inventory, whether it be storage auctions, picking, or whatever creative manner that you come up with to obtain merchandise for resale. That's one tribe, or your network. Your other tribe is your distribution channel. How do you sell this stuff? You know, whether it's eBay, Craigslist, people you know, that's another tribe. And you can use storage auctions to actually build both if you know what you're doing. The title of this segment, Building Your Own Economy with Storage Auctions. A lot of stuff has been said about storage auctions, and you hear a lot of the bad. And I've brought that up about the worst unit that I bought and some of the crazy stuff that I got out of storage units. But one thing that I haven't talked about was how you could build your own economy with storage units. One of the things that stood out from my very first unit is you get a lot of stuff you don't want. And many people term that stuff as worthless trash. I think worth is dependent upon your imagination. I'll give you a few ideas on how to build your own economy using storage auctions. I bought a unit, and in the back there were several things that I did not want, but they were not trash. And I was like, so I had to crank up the old noggin and start thinking, how can I make this work for me? The items were workbenches. This was a case of I didn't know what I had until later on, because when I was in the storage business, and you know, I have to keep saying that because I get these emails. It's like, hey, you know, I want to go to storage auctions with you. Hey, I'm not going to storage auctions. Check out the video why Glendon Cameron is not in the storage auction business. That will help you out a lot. But I got these tables, and they were actually more valuable than I thought. Much more valuable. I actually enlisted the help of one of my enemies. I was like, hey, you know, I got this stuff, and he comes to the unit and his eyes go book. I was like, oh man, I think I've messed up. But I didn't make any promises, and I said, look, if you help me move these, I'll give you one. And he said, one, you say? Let me make a phone call. He makes a phone call, comes back, he said, how much do you want for all of them? And I was like, well, don't really know. He's like, hey, I need to know. Got a guy on the phone right now. Got a guy on the phone right now. Pressure, pressure, pressure. The more pressure he was putting on me, the more that I realized that they were worth. At that point, and this was before smartphones, internet, you know, there was internet access on phones, but it was super crappy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it. But give me your number, and I'll get back with you. Are you going to help me move them? And he said, well, hey, here's my number, and we can work it out. So I shut the unit, and I leave. I had taken a picture earlier with my camera phone, so I got home, and I did a little research, and they were drafting tables from a CAD company. Because they articulated. They would move up and like this and everything. See, I just thought they were tables, but once I got in there and started, they did a lot of stuff. They would actually raise, they would lower. And long story short, by actually reaching out to my enemy, because this guy would bid the shit out of me, he helped me realize the worth of these tables, which I actually sold on eBay to a guy in Minnesota who came down and got them. Yes, he came down and got them. He was an engineer, He came down in a dually truck because he was an engineer and his parents had a farm, so he had access to the truck and everything. But he came down with the dually and a horse trailer and picked up all 8 of the tables. He bought them for $800 a piece. And I was almost going to give this crap away to one of my enemies. But see, I'm telling you, the story continues on. The story continues on. So he comes back at me. He calls me. He said, what'd you do with those tables? I said, look, dude, I sold those tables. And I'm going to say, thank you. He said, thank you. Yeah, you told me what they were worth because your eyes bucked so hard I thought they were going to pop out of your head and roll around on the concrete. And he just started laughing. Oh, so you found out what they were. I was like, yeah, thanks. And we became friends. And we started doing deals and stuff together. And it's kind of funny. But essentially, he became a member of my tribe. When you get storage units, there's a lot of talk out there about the wow factor and super fragilistic, calocious, super wow stuff. When reality is, there's a lot of stuff in there that's not sexy, it's not appealing, it doesn't look great, but it's worth something. And if you can get that unit for a price point that's less than what the items are in it are worth, you make money. Did you understand what I just told you? There's a lot of stuff in there that many people have termed worthless junk. It actually has a great deal of value, but because they were unaware of the worth, it was just junk to them. I was guilty of it. There was a lot of stuff in the beginning that got away from me because I didn't know what it was. That is one of the pitfalls of this business. Until your knowledge base becomes very large, anybody can get in over you. That's why I say don't sell stuff out the unit. A lot of people say, hey, make deals. Hey, I got my money back. I saw a guy get screwed. Some very nice brass pieces to this guy for $50. He only paid $20 for the unit. Those brass pieces were worth about $400. He just gave them away. Don't sell stuff out the unit unless you already know the value. Do your research. Sometimes you'll lose. Sometimes you can make more money selling it on the spot. Sometimes you got another person who doesn't know what's going on, and he in turn will give you more money than what it's worth because of his own ignorance. It happens. But most people out there are pretty savvy. They're trying to make those deals. So the deal is with building a tribe. Let's take regular old crap. Regular old crap is dishes, linens, towels, which actually are hot sellers in the flea market. A lot of people throw those things away. Cracks me up. But say you buy a unit and there's 20% in there that you want to sell. So instead of looking at the other 80% as, oh man, I got to take it to the dump, actually think about how can you build a tribe with that stuff. I gave a lot of stuff away. First person that was in the food chain was if the people wanted some stuff back out the unit, I give it back to them. But it gets tricky because a lot of storage facilities, they don't really want to deal with it, and it becomes a time management issue. You can't spend a whole day working with someone to give them the stuff back because you got to load, you got to buy, you have too many things to do. So I was like, look, I got this stuff out of here. I will give you until X amount of time. You can come get it. After that point, I'm going to get rid of it. And some people got some of the furniture back, some people got some of the clothes back. A lot of stuff, I'm telling you, I gave a lot of stuff away. And that enabled me to build a tribe. Going back to the sheets and towels, until we got our own flea market, which was when I really built my own economy, we traded that stuff for favors. It's like, oh, you'll get these towels for, hey, you watch my booth. You get this stuff, you'll watch my booth. When you give away stuff like that, you ingratiate people to you. It's amazing what happens, because I bring up the towel instance because there was this little lady in the flea market. And give her towels and stuff to sell in her booth because I didn't want to deal with it because we were really moving furniture and bigger items. And 4 years later, this little lady and some of her family members come to my warehouse. And it's like, hey, how you doing and everything. Do you know those 15 family members, because they were Haitian, came in, and I say Haitian because a lot of Haitians and immigrants, they roll together in a pack. It's not like you see one, there's 5 or 6 more around the corner because that's just the culture thing. The family rolls together. And those 15 people probably spent 30, 40 grand. That came from giving this woman some towels to watch my booth. Don't be so selfish with things that you think. Because see, the immediate thing is, I got to get rid of it. I got to throw it away. No. Use that stuff to build emotional currency. Build favors. Build your tribe. Become a person. You know, my video where it's like, I scared the Goodwill guy. My partner was a very, very giving person. And she just like, I can't see just throwing this stuff away when someone can use it. So we gave a lot of stuff away. But the other flip side of that was there was so much goodwill built because of that. It was freaking amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that happened. Also, you can give stuff to storage managers and staff. But you gotta be careful with that. And like if there are district managers there and you're like, hey, here's this vacuum cleaner. No, you do that after hours when there's no one looking. That will build you a certain level of grace with those people. I'm telling you. A lot of people looked at some of the storage, and some of them were assholes. Let's be real about it. Some of them were assholes. But the vast majority of the storage facility people that I dealt with were great. It was just how you treated them. But take that stuff and repurpose it. You may not get cash, but you may get a friend. You may not get cash, but you may get a favor. You may not get cash, but you may get labor, which all ultimately helps you make more cash. Because the thing is, I put this up before and I'll say it because, you know, I pointed to my watch and I said, this is your greatest resource. Actually, time, not the watch, not the clock. Time is your greatest resource. And anything that you can facilitate making the most efficient use of your time is going to help you make more money. One of the biggest things that you could do in this business is learn how to solve problems very quickly. If you have exceptional problem solving skills, you will do very well in this business because that's what it's about. You know, most people think it's about buying and selling. No, it's not. All sales transactions solve problems. You may be bored. Here's a book that solved that problem. You know, you look at it the wrong way. Like most people think McDonald's is a hamburger company. No, it's not. McDonald's is one of the largest real estate companies in the world. That's their primary core, getting the best real estate. Then this hamburgers sell easily because they're in the best position to sell hamburgers. That's your deal with storage auctions. Solving problems. Solving problems. And when you build a tribe, you don't have to have 1 million people in your tribe. Part of building a tribe is recognizing what you're doing. If you're going to go out and start a business and you want to eventually own a store, you can start building your tribe if you do it properly from your house. It's just a matter of keeping up with people in your network. It's not about throwing a party. It's not about talking to them every day. This is something that I learned in the sales course. Like say you're chasing a prospect and you know tribe members are prospects. Look at it that way. You can't call them every day, but once a week is plenty of contact. So that's 4 times a month that you contact these people. And over a course of 6 months, that's 24 contact points, right? At the 6-month mark, you've only contacted this person 24 times and talked to them for 2 to 3 minutes. At 6 months, and that's from my former business of being a contract furniture, commercial office furniture, you're going to sit around and ask this person for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, $400,000 in the effort to solve their pain of needing office furniture for their new facility. That's what it took. Constant contact. So whatever way you want to do it, you need to stay in contact with your network and also build that tribe. Because give you just a really, really down and dirty, quick analysis of if you do these things, how much money it can make you. Because that's what you really want to know. You're buying storage units, you're building your tribe. If you have 150 to 200 consistent tribal members, or as the dude said in The Hangover, your wolf pack. Ow! You got your wolf pack going on. If you have 150, 200 people that spend $10 with you a month. $10. Let's keep it there. 150, that's $1,500. That's not including new business. That's not including Craigslist sales. That's not including eBay sales. That's not including whatever you do. One of the problems with people who get in this business is they get into it ass backwards. Get the stuff, then try to figure out how they're going to sell it. Whereas if you go ahead and build a sales channel first, you build the infrastructure first, you'll be better suited to be successful. Take an example, and this is something I learned from a real estate agent. Atlanta Journal used to post people who got into the real estate business, and it was amazing how people who were very well networked, who had a prior business, would jump into real estate and just do amazingly well very quickly. They already had the sales channels built. They just needed the right product. Do you get what I'm telling you? So, say you don't have any money. You could be building your tribe. You could be building your tribe with junk units right now. And that's one of the reasons that when people come at me and like, oh, storage trucks is easy, it's common sense. I'm like, really? And I put this in this video because I haven't seen anyone even talk about that stuff. It's just like, hey, you know, bid low and sell high. Duh. 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 What about the intrinsic, the heavy lifting that has nothing to do with making money, that will put you in a position to make money later? No one talks about that because they don't have the expertise and they've never done it. And you can't speak about something that you don't know about. So this is what I'm telling you. Start working on your tribe. Your tribe could be 5 members. If you were one of the founding members of a storefront church, and it was like 10 years ago, and you had 5 members, now you've got 1,500, you have 2,000. It started with those 5 people. You have to start somewhere. And that's the thing. I'm going to say it again. Get rid of immediate gratification. If you took 2 years and you say right now, and give you another plan on building a tribe. Say you buy 5 units a month. Out the 5, 3 were winners, 2 were okay. If you took those 2 and just gave them to charity, gave them to your friends, and actually created a network instead of just giving to the same people over and over again, you try to give away that stuff to as many people as possible. You're building a tribe because you come up for 4 months straight and saying, hey, I have something for you. They're going to remember you. And then when you really crank up your business, you can like, hey, how you doing? It's not one of those awkward situations where it's like, hey, you know, I got a store. It's like, hey, good to see you. Well, you know what? I'm opening up a store. And they're like, really? Let me know. I'll tell all my friends. Because you've built that emotional currency already. And that's what people refuse to do. The success that you can have in the storage auction business is limited by this. That's your mindset. That's one of the biggest problems. So if you just watch this video and you really think about it, what have you done to build your tribe today? How many people are in your tribe? How many do you know? If you don't know, that means you're not paying attention, because even if you just got into business, you've got a tribe of at least 5 to 10 people. Friends, people, strangers, whatever. And your goal is, how do I get this network to be as large as possible? How do I get as many people into my tribe? That's what you need to do. And also, I'm not saying just give away good stuff. I'm not saying give away your best stuff. What I'm saying is, instead of looking at that stuff that you can't sell for high dollar value, you can give away and get high emotional currency value, which in the end could be priceless. I've had customers do some of the most amazing things for me. Help me out of jams, bring friends. So I'm telling you, it's super, super important, because that is the thing that is missing with a lot of people. I understand you're watching the shows. It's like, hey, you know, I'm going to get some gold doubloons, or I'm going to get this. No, probably not. Probably not. But can you go out and spend $1,500 to $3,000 a month on storage units and yield yourself a $50,000 to $80,000 a year profit-wise business? Yeah. Is it going to be easy? Nope. Is it going to be a walk in the park? Nope. But it can be done if you know what you're doing and you stop looking at it for the wow factor. In my first videos, in my book, I said it from day one. This game is about base hits, not home runs. You can get a base hit in every game, but you're not going to get a home run in every game. You can actually get a home run and end up losing the game because your base hits did not support that home run. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear what I'm telling you? Get rid of that stuff. My partner actually taught me a lot about that because, when you get into business and you're going to a unit, you're opening up boxes and you only spent $50 and you're already holding $250 in your hand and there's still 90% of the unit go through, it's a high. It is a high. But every unit's not going to be like that. And you have to learn how to make essentially $1 out of 15 cents. Storage auctions is the only business that I've ever been in that I'm able to use that axiom, and it worked. You can literally make $1 out of 15 cents with storage units. Sometimes you can make $1,000 out of $1. Sometimes you can make 25 cents out of 50 cents. It's going to happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. You will lose money in this game at times. You will lose money. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. For a lot of people, that's very, very unpopular. For a lot of people, that's unsavory. And for a lot of people, that is downright cussing. But when you look at how much you make, it's kind of like when you have a stock portfolio. You've been investing in it for 10 years. It's got a cap value of, say, $300,000. And this year you lost 20. But you only put in $130,000. That was your initial capital outlay. So you're still up like $170,000. So yeah, you lost, but you really didn't. And that's kind of how the storage auction game works. You made $10,000 for the month and you bought a unit that you spent $500 and you lost that $500. But even though you did take a loss and it's a real loss, you're still up. That's how storage auctions work. And that's why I say the more that you buy, the luckier you become. Because those of you, I can tell it from the emails. You bought 1, 2, 3 units and you put all your hopes and wishes and desires on that one little janky crackhead unit. And now you're really upset and felt that you were cheated. No, you didn't put enough skin in the game. I'm telling you. If you work this business right, and I will say this, there are many of you who are not in the position to work this business right. You don't even have the basic ingredients, which would be a place to store a good amount of stuff and a truck. You don't have that. So you're very challenged from jump. So it's not going to work. I knew guys that came out to the storage auction business and literally traded in their cars to get trucks because just renting is going to kill your profit. Seriously, it's just going to kill your profit. But that's kind of my thoughts on what you should do if you're really serious about being in this business. Because you've got 2 tribes you're building. Your resource tribe, which is storage auctions, picking, businesses, any way that you can source revenue, any way that you can source inventory. That's one tribe. Your second tribe is your customer base. You always have to add more. See, that's one of the things that I don't see people talking about. You have to increase your customer base because if you don't, you're dying. So that's another tribe that you have to build. And every place is situational. What works in the big city may not work out there on the rural route. What works in the rural route might piss off people in the city. And that's where the heavy lifting comes into place. You have to figure out what makes your tribe happy. I already know some of the stuff that will piss y'all off. When I put up a video talking about buying some, dislike. When I put up a video with some of my political beliefs, dislike. Long as I keep it on storage auctions, you mofos are happy. Seriously, it's like, oh God, he's going on the 10. I got called by some other YouTuber's name and I was like, okay. But see, that's called the feedback. I'm like, all right, to keep these mofos happy, we need to keep on the storage auction tip, how to make money tip, motivation tip. We're good. But when I go like, oh, somewhere, except for the Herman Cain thing, y'all like that. Y'all like that thing. That didn't really piss too many people off because, it was kind of clever. 999 problems. I ain't gonna lie. Thank you, Jay-Z. But that's the deal. And you have to constantly monitor this stuff. And, for those who didn't know, I am out the business. Yeah, the second time in this video I said that because people don't get that. Doing what I do in terms of writing and producing videos is a full-time occupation. This is all that I do. This is it. I don't do anything else. And knowing what I know about my personality, some of you may be able to go out and buy storage units and do a video. Me, I wouldn't do it. A lot of stuff would fall to the wayside because of my personality. I know my limitations. I would suck at both. I would be, I would just probably, honestly, if I were to get back in the business, this would stop. It would. It would. I'll just be honest with you. It would. I would not do another video. I would probably do what a few other YouTubers who are still in the business did, is yank down the channel, get rid of all the videos, and pull down the book. But, I may be past the point of return on that, so that wouldn't even make any sense. But that's the deal. This is all that I do. And some of you like it and some of you don't. Alright, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like it, share it with a few friends. Alright, have a great day.